All right, so today we are going to go over a new topic with our linear equations. So today we're going to say I can determine slope when given 2 points. And write the date, whatever that might be today. Okay, I can determine slope given 2 points. This means that we have 2 different points. We have an x sub 1, a y sub 1, an x sub 2, and a y sub 2. This should sound very familiar. This is something that we talked about last year a lot when we were doing our distance formula. One thing that's different here is that now we're doing our slope. So an important thing here is our slope equation. So our slope equation is m being our slope, equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And let's talk about y for a second here. So when we're looking at this, slope is typically rise over run. If we think about rise over run, okay, so slope is usually rise over run. And when we're talking about rise over run, we have our coordinate plane. Y is our rise, x is our run. Hence why y is on the top and x is on the bottom. Okay, so let me somehow make this stand out here. I'm going to have you guys also make it stand out somehow in your notes. And let's go through an example. So, for example, we might have 2 set coordinate points. So 1, 2, and 5, 7. Those are some possibilities for our points here. So if we were to line this up with what we are familiar with from the top here, x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2, if we line these up, we have x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to designate each of these as different colors. You do not have to do this in your own notes. It's just something that might be helpful to have like different colored pens or highlighters. But if the colors are distracting to you, by all means do not use the colors then. It's just something that I find to be helpful because, I don't know, colors make it look different, which makes it make a little bit more sense to me at least. Okay, so we're going to start off with our slope equation. So we have our m equals, our slope equation tells us that we have our y sub 2 minus, and I'm going to throw these in while I'm still holding the black pen, minus our y sub 1 over our x sub 2 minus our x sub 1. Okay, so once we have that, now we can substitute for these values. We can substitute in the actual numerical values rather than just the numbers, or the symbols here. So y sub 2 is equal to 7. Again, I'm going to put in the rest of this just while I have that here. Our y sub 1 is equal to 2. Our x sub 2 is equal to 5. and our x sub 1 is equal to 1. So then from here what we do is we can just solve. 7 minus 2 gives us 5. 5 minus 1 gives us 4. So in this case, the slope between these 2 points is 5 over 4. We're rising up 5, we're running over 4. So if I were to show you how that looks here, okay, so if we have 1, 2, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means we should see that we're rising up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. And we're running over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. So we know we have done this right. That's one way we can quickly check our work. Okay, example 2. Maybe we have 6, 5, and negative 5, 2. All right, so if we line these up, we have x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. And then I can line up my colors. Not completely necessary, but if it is something that helps you, then by all means, you can do this as well. My x sub 2 is negative 5, and my y sub 2 is 2. All right, so back to my slope equation that we wrote at the top, and we outlined here, or somehow made it obvious to ourselves. We're going to have our y sub 2 minus, and I'm going to throw these things in here while I have the same color, y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay, so if I start substituting now, my y sub 2 is equal to 2. So I'm going to put 2 in there. My y sub 1 is equal to 5. So I'm going to put 5 in here. My x sub 2 is equal to negative 5. So negative 5. And then my x sub 1 is equal to 6. Okay, then from here, I'm going to solve each part. 2 minus 5 gives me negative 3. Negative 5 minus 6 gives me negative 11. Notice I do have 2 negatives here, so the correct way to simplify this would be, say, a negative and a negative gives us a positive. So our answer is 3 over 11. I'm going to box my answers here so they stand out.